Do you ever find yourself in a hiatus from playing Sea of Thieves and months go by and you just randomly come across a Captain Falco lore video and then you jump into a rabbit hole of constantly watching Sea of Thieves content for the next 3 days? No? Just me? Well, anyway, I just kinda got into a rabbit hole and I found out that they added a bunch of new stuff. They added sea forts, they added captaincy, so you can own captain's ships, and then there's a whole new event going on as well. So I thought, what better time to start playing the game again? So I got Nyx and Zion together to play, and here's our adventure for the next 5 days. Now this video is going to be a little different from what I usually make, so if you guys enjoy this type of content, please do drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below if you like this type of content. Anyways, onwards to the adventure. So on day 1 we started by raising the emissary flag for the Merchant Alliance. We bought as many commodities as we could on this outpost before heading off towards a bunch of sea forts. We decided to hit up Imperial Crown Fortress and Ancient Gold Fortress first. So we set sail to Imperial Crown Fortress. Right after getting to Imperial Crown Fortress, we started fighting through all the phantoms. We even found a soul captain there. We then finally killed him and then continued on to beat the actual boss. We also blew ourselves up with kegs. Now I'm not gonna bore you with all the details because we also went to the Ancient Gold Fortress and it was basically the same thing. We basically just grabbed all the loot, put it all into one place, loaded it all into the ship, and we sailed off onto the next fort. But after we set off from Ancient Gold Fortress and sailed our way through to Old Rhinestone Fortress, we saw a galleon already doing the fortress. So as we got closer, they decided to chase us and we sent Sign over to see what they were all about, and turns out they declared themselves as friendly. Anchor turned away back to the fort to do it. So we sail over to plunder our outpost afterwards and we decided to just sell everything, and then we just bought all the commodities on this outpost. And we set off to Ancient Spire outpost, and on the way there we kind of got krakened. And thankfully we managed to have the wind on our side, so we got out of it pretty quickly. And we sailed over to the Ancient Spire outpost where we decided to grab all the commodities. And at the outpost, just as we were about to start a lost shipment, we got server merged. And when we checked the map, it turns out there was a Reaper emissary, level 1 on the map. And so we started a lost shipment and sailed off to find the clues. After finding a bunch of seagulls, we were told to reach Snake Island where we found yet another clue. After we found the clue on this island, we set off to Chicken Isle, but as we sailed off, we noticed that there was a sloop on the island we were just at. We basically sent Zion over for a little bit of intimidation, and it seemed to have worked. They sailed off, but they seemed to have stopped over a bunch of seagulls, and we ran all over the place. We found the sunken ship, but we couldn't find the key, so we assumed that these guys had the key. So we chased them, but they boarded us and tried to kill us, but that didn't really work out too well for them. So we fired out Zine after a little while because they were kind of sailing us into a storm here. Zine managed to get the board off, we managed to get them off the ship, and we managed to get a few cannon shots in. And since they were in the storm circling, they couldn't get back on, so it was an easy sink for us. And after checking their ship, they had no loot on them, not even the keys. So we decided to run on over to Mercy's End Fortress to just grab some loot here. We basically got on, started the fight, grabbed the loot, and headed off to Morrow's Peak outpost, where we just dumped all of our commodities and started selling them just in time for Gold Rush Hour. At this point, we were basically at level 4 emissary. Selling all that loot apparently got us up to level 5. We didn't want to give up on the lost shipment, so we still headed out to see if we could find anything. And after like hours of searching, we eventually decided to go all the way back to Steven's Spoil. And turns out Zine just didn't see the key that was on the floor very obviously, right? Just there.
See a blue shiny over there. What's that? At your feet. Right there. Yeah, you're sitting on it right now.
I don't want to talk about it.
Is it the key?
It might be the key.
Are you serious?
Going there right now. young
Oh
man.
my god, it is the
Oh my
key.
god.
Oh my god, it is the key. Bruh. We are like a minute late. After finding the key, we headed over to the sunken ship and grabbed all the loot. And we sailed back over to Thunder Outpost where we sold all the stuff we just got. Here we also started the adventure for the event and we chose the Reaper's side. So we decided to hit up Reaper's hideout and talk to the Servant of Flame, and we just basically gave him like all the babysitting dolls and stuff. And we grabbed the flag from him and sailed over to the closest sea fort that we could find, and before it took it over for the Reapers and put up the flag and sailed back over to the Reapers and sold all the loot that we just got. At the end of day 1, we managed to make about 195,000 gold and we managed to go up 6 levels in the Merchant Alliance, which brought us all the way up to level 31. Day 2 was the day we decided to run gold hoarders. So we raised the emissary flag for gold hoarders and then we checked the entire server for any reapers, and to our surprise there was absolutely nothing on the server. So we sailed over to Morrow's Peak outpost with a plan to stack vault voyages in the Devil's Roar. So the moment we got to the outpost, we started up a voyage which gave us a compass to find the map fragments. The map fragments will reveal an island with an X mark that will show us the location of a key, and the key should have the name of the island that the vault is in. And since there was nothing much to do, we decided to do a little bit of tomfoolery. Anyways, we got to the island and dug up the key, and to our surprise the key and the vault were on the same island, so we just decided to park our ship and started the vault. We got into the vault and started shuffling all the treasure chests out, and we also did a puzzle which gives us a big boy chest which is worth a lot of gold. We load everything up onto our ship and then head off over to Morrow's Peak outpost again because we needed to sell in time for Gold Rush. After selling all that loot, we decided to run another vault voyage in Devil's Roar. So we went ahead and finished it, and then we noticed that there was hardly any levels going into our emissary flag. So before we sold, we wanted to make sure we got a level 5 emissary flag. So we decided to start some basic voyages so we can dig up some regular loot around on islands. And we shot Zion over to an island to grab loot and get it onto our ship, which actually maxed out the flag. After which we sailed over to Morrow's Peak outpost and sold our loot and lowered the emissary flag. This concludes day 2 with a profit of just under 150,000 gold and getting us 5 levels into gold hoarders, which got me into level 43 of gold hoarders. On day 3 we decided to run the gold hoarders emissary flag again, and as we started we checked the entire server for any reapers, and we saw a level 1 reaper emissary and a ship with a reaper's mark on it. There was also a Fort of Fortune event going on in the server. We ignored all that and sailed over to Morrow's Peak outpost to start the vault voyages. As we started the first vault at Ashen Reach, I noticed as we were putting all the loot at our harpoon spot that 2 other players was trying to steal our loot. I was wondering why Nix didn't fight them, only to find out that he didn't actually notice them. I did. So we initiated a fight with them and I died, but Zion later on found out that the sloop was not too far from us on the same island. So as I respawned, I sailed over to it and then we sink it. They didn't really put on much of a fight, so it was not that hard. We then proceeded to do 2 more vault voyages and sailed over to Morrow's Peak outpost and sold all the loot at Gold Rush Hour. We stacked a total of about 3 vault voyages. During all this, we didn't have any PvP or anything, just a bunch of random fishing. After Gold Rush Hour ended, we did 1 more vault voyage and we sold the loot right after we did it. And at the end of day 3, we managed to make 563,000 gold. And we got up 9 levels in gold hoarders, putting me up at level 52 in gold hoarders. With gold hoarder above level 50, we decided to take day 4 to do the Lord of Souls emissary. Since me and Nix were busy, Zain decided to go out on a brig solo to raise the emissary flag for Lord of Souls and do voyages around Devil's Roar to try and get it up to level 5. But I managed to join in just before that happened at about level 4 and I helped to maxed. After maxing out the emissary flag, we sailed over to an outpost and waited for next to join, and then we sold all the loot. We then grabbed the voyage that we get for maxing out an emissary flag, and then we lowered the flag and then raised it again so we can go do the voyage, which would in turn max out the next emissary flag, which could give us another emissary voyage, and it would start an infinite loop basically. The emissary voyage takes us out to islands with around 4 skeleton captains to kill, all of which give us pretty good skull that we can sell for gold. We repeated this process of doing emissary voyages about 3 times in total, and then we ended up selling all of them at an outpost without really looking at gold rush hour because we didn't really have too much time on our hands. At the end of day 4, we managed to get about just above 330,000 gold, and we got 11 levels raised in the Order of Souls, which got me up to level 43. And finally, day 5, we dedicated to doing the actual event. We started the adventure for Belle's Path at the starting outpost, and then we headed off to meet Belle. After grabbing the flag from her, we read the journal that was somewhere on the island and headed off to Royal Crest Fortress, at which we saw a random sloop and we decided to sink it to find absolutely no one on the ship. And then we got onto the fortress to claim it, but it was already claimed for Belle and somehow was also bugged. So we read the journal that was on Royal Crest Fortress and we sailed off to Mercy's End Fortress. We read the journal that is on Mercy's End Fortress, and then we defeated all the enemies there and grabbed the loot and raised Belle's flag on top of the fortress. We then set off to meet Belle again and give her an enchanted bewitching doll. After which we sailed off to an outpost to sell and grab the adventure again to complete the Reaper's side this time, only for us to almost get sunk by a kraken. We survived the kraken and eventually made it to the outpost and sold all the loot we had. After selling, we head off to Reaper's hideout and the skeleton galleon spawned on us. Somehow it got stuck and we grabbed its loot and realized we forgot to start the adventure, so we had to turn back to the outpost and we noticed some odd music. We grabbed the adventure and head off towards the Reaper's hideout to find that a Fort of Fortune world event had spawned on the server. And after we got to Reaper's hideout, we talked to the Servant of Flame and we decided to raise the Reaper's emissary flag and head over to the fort. After we got to the fort and started doing it, we figured out that we were not alone. As we see a sloop sailing by the fort, they make some weird turns and decide to shoot us from very far away for some reason. And since they were being annoying, we decided to take the fight to them. I managed to board the ship, sword them off of the ship and anchor them, at which point we got some cannon shots onto their ship and we managed to sink their ship fairly easily. After that, we finished the Fort of Fortune, we opened the vault, got the loot onto our ship, and this managed to get the emissary flag to level 5, and then we sailed off to Reaper's hideout immediately to sell everything. We then sailed off to the closest unclaimed fortress that we could find, and then we cleared the fortress and raised the flag for the Reapers and sold all the loot that we got from the fortress and turned in all the bewitching dolls to the Servant of Flame back at Reaper's hideout. After the 5th and final day, we managed to make a profit of just under 360,000 gold, and at the end of the adventure at this point, after 5 days, I managed to get up to 2.3 million gold, which is enough to get me all the captainship. We also managed to do the event fully and unlock all the stuff, but we couldn't get up to Pirate Legend, which unfortunately we're gonna have to leave for another time, but that is going to be an adventure for another time. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys like this sort of content, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below to let me know what names I should be giving to my ships. We'll definitely be coming back to Sea of Thieves because we need to kind of reach Pirate Legend. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.